Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising, coming to you at 10 hours and 34 minutes. It is Monday, August 23rd, 2021. This is who deserve the blame and the fault for the dynamic of the situation we are in. So I'm coming to you with this quick presentation and video. Welcome to the Otto Williams Jr. channel, and sit back and be ready. I'm going to have the link in the comment section if you want to join. You don't have to be long. I know it's probably early for a lot of people. A lot of people on the West Coast and different. Now I'm more on the East Coast, so I understand. So get back and relax and enjoy the presentation. Share it. Join in. Welcome to the family, and hit the notification button. Well, this topic, I know it's early and I know we get tired of it, but what I notice is this topic never get a resolve or resolution. Why is that? Why is it, if we all going to work on the same platform, the same guidelines and policies and the rules, regulations, let's set a code. Why is it that we haven't came together and talked and actually had a real discussion amongst each other? People keep saying they don't see this off of YouTube. Yes, you do. I don't know what world. It's some things you may not discuss off. I know we don't discuss a lot of topics off of YouTube. Yeah, some people in their mind. You would be shocked how many people don't care for you based on because you're just being happy-go-lucky. You have living your life. You would really be shocked because I know I experienced that. I experienced that at jobs I worked at, trying to get a new position. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not the one. Maybe I'm not blinded to my plight in my life. Maybe I'm not as everybody else, I guess, per se. I noticed this. It has nothing to do. And the title is Indigenous Black Men Propagated Hatred. Do Black women deserve any of the ridicule in the 20th century movement? No blame, no fault. What are your thoughts? Do our race women deserve? This is a part 2 because I know I probably mentioned this in a different way. So this is segment 2. Do our Black women deserve any of the fault or the blame of way society is? And when I do hear these topics, when they start off good, it always goes left when you cannot hold the Black woman accountable. It's always going left. As soon as you hold her accountable, her accountability is having a baby with a man that's not the accountability, because then a lot of them go, so what is the real accountability? That we ignore that she did that and let her live her life? Or do we recognize what's going on so our daughters don't do that? That's why our daughters going to keep having babies. I'm watching it. I'm watching them. I don't know how you keep saying this not happening off of YouTube, but I'm watching all these young girls pregnant. It's summer. I'm waiting. The winter. All these young girls, no marriage. The young men, they're being there. That's the one thing I can say. at least from the 80s to now, from the men that I've seen, the young men are being there. The girls are not talking about child support. They're not taking, why would you take the money out of that man's pocket so he can make moves to do better? Why? That makes no sense. And this what? And if you look at it, look what we accepted from other race, the law, even the law. Look what we accept about the law to allow situations to get worse. You think a man that's paying half of his paycheck for where he live is gonna have so he's not a good father, but all his money is being taken away. So that's actually posed to change. And that's going to be different for us. That's going to change the whole monopoly on how we deal and interact with each other. You telling me that's what's going to happen? Come on, let's take a deeper walk in what I know, what you know, what we experienced for 60 years. So that means before I was even born, black men ain't shit was the slogan. How did that affect those men in that time? Well, a lot of those men was coming home from war. A lot of men came home, their wives wasn't. You start learning about how women wasn't faithful, not because he was gone, not because he wasn't providing, not because he wasn't being a good man. It's because in her ideology, again, she accepted things that had nothing to do with him and placed them on him. Think about that. We have accepted things in society. So if I ask a woman to describe herself, she would describe everything that has nothing to do with her. But she have accepted things in society that said, describe you, your about section. Who are you? She have accepted. Same as a man. The men, for most part, I find it, I think because we're logical. And if somebody say, describe who you are, for the most part, the 90% or 9 out of 10 men that I have met or known, they describe things about them. They didn't mention a house. They didn't mention a car. Because I heard the black women say, when black women started getting degrees, now we're number one, which Asian women are number one, and Asian people are number one in getting degrees. But okay, then and Middle Eastern women vary between black women. But the big thing about that, that's not even a big deal, because if black women number one, so that means black women, 56% are, that's actually the even number. 56% get their degrees. Our race men, we at 48%. That's not a big difference. That is not. Especially so if you talk about the placement and the skill set of a man, more men in any race are going to have less degrees compared to the woman. Because women need degrees because she's going to be placed in those job positions that require a degree. Men are not going to be, we're full of skills, we're full of life, we're technical, we're vocational. So my skill set is not predicated on solely, quote unquote, talking to a person. My skill set, I'm going to interact with that person because I'm going to ask them, what service do you need? So if their service is painting, I'm not going to get a degree in painting. There's no degree for painting. To become a master painter, you have to paint. You got to learn how to prep the wall. You got to learn from watching or doing it or looking it up. That don't require a degree. So if more of our race, so when you put sense, how they say you put your feet to the ground, you got to make sense. So my feet got to touch the ground. So my feet touching the ground, I'm not going to apply a degree to painting. There is no degree for painting. There's no degree for carpentry. There's certifications. There's technical skills. So if I talk resolve and resolution, if I tell that to a woman, so why would I have a bachelor's and master's degree in what? What am I going to have a master's and bachelor's degree in if my skill set is construction, laborer? There's no degree in laborer. There's no degree in going to a place, getting the floor tile, placing the floor tile, there's no degree. And I collect or I gain so much money's income or equity just as much as her. But my job is not predicated on the technological world. It's predicated on the industrial world. So if I'm not building a house, I need another skill set. So that other skill set she's talking about, yes, I need to go do customer service for 4 months until more, or I build up a clientele where I can have those things. So me making $80,000 is not based on my college degree, it's based on my skill set that I have. So if our women have more degrees, their degrees is based on what are the degrees? Sociology. She's in the sociology field. I'm in the carpentry field. I'm in the labor or construction field. So if she make 80,000 a year, that is predicated on the technological world because she's going to be sending emails. She's going to be doing access to companies for marketing and retailing. And some reason, we will know the reason why retail is all year. Somebody need new sneakers. Somebody gonna need new pants. So when it comes to marketing, what are your marketing? Your marketing. So I'm going to build a house. I build one house. That's a certain set amount of money. So the retail and marketing, when I build this house, they're going to need appliances. How, like the outlets of the house, the interior design. So that person so that's a skill set. There's not a degree for interior design. So that's why that's a perfect job for a woman. That's what, see, we don't talk as this. That's a perfect job for a woman wanting to be a housewife, interior design. Because when I build that building, so if that's my wife, if she's an interior designer and I am a house builder, when I build that house, she's linked to me. See how we are working? We're teammates, me and my wife, or a lady that I know that does interior design. She's linked to this house or this housing estate. So now she's going to come in and say, couples, family, or a single man or woman, how do you want to design your house? Or the architect, his design is going to be probably a man or even a woman. That's a part-time. See, even the construction could be a part-time. So when we comparing income, this is just our example. Why are we getting so deep? Oh, she got more degrees. Why wouldn't our black women have more degrees than black men by a percentage to 6 or 8%? We're working with skill set. Her degree is predicated on now she's got to market and talk to those companies and create accounts. This is just one example. But for the 60 years, why is always our responses now? I have to say this, they're very illogical. So if I'm 38, so let's say I'm 30, so 60 years. So there was 30 years without me being around. 30 years. 30 years without me being around. Now I'm here 30 years later. Now 30 years have went by again. So that's 60 years in totality of 60 years. How is it that I have anything about what was going on in society? I do, but then I don't. What I have to do is now create, form, and build within me healthy, good, positive energy, which there is none around for me. Now, where am I getting my energy from? My mother and my father. So for them 60 years, our mother and father outside the home had to now form, build, and create an atmosphere for me. And I was watching the thing with Kevin Samuels with a lady. I'm going to not name dropping, but I disagreed with him for the first time on the premise. If I had a daughter, this is why I agree wholeheartedly with this lady. And I get what she was meaning. And I said, wow, this woman actually thought about this. I said, wow. Regardless of her past, what she said, she was wilding out. Cool. Okay, boom. That wasn't my focus. My focus is what are we grooming our daughters to be wives or single women? It's not a yes or no. Because if I look at, so remember, 60 years, black men ain't ish. 60 years. So am I grooming my son to be part of society or to be a husband? Then I'm gonna switch it up because I'm gonna talk from that. I would have to be I have to be in not reality, actuality. I'm 38 and not married. That's actuality. I can be 38 and married. That's reality. So I have to understand in actuality, I might not get married. I am 38 with no child. I might not have a child. So when you say, am I raising my son? I only can raise, not raise, but I am guiding and challenging my son to be the best indigenous, quote unquote, black man. He, keyword, he, him, his soul, him. I have nothing to do with what he do after I give him and guide him. I give him knowledge, understanding, and he gained his own wiseness. He got his own mind, his own body, his own heart. I can't do nothing about that after I do all those things. My son now has to make a choice. If I lay down this year with 100 women, I am not a husband this year. Sorry. No way. I don't care what religion. I don't care if you're a Muslim. I don't practice Quran. You believe in Muhammad. You believe in Buddha. I don't care what religion. You believe in God, Jesus, whatever. I don't care if you believe in Satan. I don't care if you are atheist. You are not a husband this year. I will tell my son to his face, and my son will say, why? My why is not for me. I will ask him, you slept with 100 women this year. You think you should be a husband this year? This year, sleeping with 100 women. Because you know what comes with that? You got soul tying. That's gotta be in deep. You put yourself out there and you was trying to portray or be a certain way, but you slept with 100 women. Your end goal with those 100 women, was it to sleep with them or to be the wife? And if it's not to be a wife, because if you met the 20th woman and you slept with, and you on number 30, how was you trying to wife the 20 women, but you sleeping with number, you already got 10 more women after that under your belt. We could say quote unquote body count. So how was my son being a husband that year? How was my son? I'm sorry, I don't play that. And this is the thing. I did a video. I'm gonna have to post the link. I remember I keep posting that. I want to say I did lifestyle versus experience or something of that nature. It was under the power of oneness series. And that was earlier. That was so many years ago, about 2 years ago or a year or so ago, I made that video, but that was in my spirit. I said, so if we go back to doing construction, why would I get a degree in sociology and I'm building houses? How does sociology, psychology, being a therapist, even let's say if I went for physical therapy or occupational therapy, how do that correlate with me building a house? What skill is those degrees that I have and those the majors that I have, how is that going to help me with building a house? So my son laying down with 100 women, how is that going to help my son become a husband? That's 100 women. That's 100 different attributes, 100 different personalities, 100 different characteristics times 100. Branch off times another 100. Because every 100 women, they're women. They're going to have women parts and women analogies, but they're all going to be different from their demographics and background, the way they was raised. We all wasn't raised in the same house. We all wasn't raised in the same type of way. So if we're doing that, so after the 60 years, now we in the 20th century, you telling me everything. So now I have to tell my son, if you don't become a husband this year, whose fault is that? See, I'm going to hold my son accountable because you know why? Because I held myself accountable because I have to hold my son. See, if you can't hold, see, the reason why people can't hold people, see, I'm going to hold R. Kelly responsible, but I'm not going to plaster him. I'm going to hold, how you say her name, Richardson, Miss Richardson, Miss Biles, Miss Osaka. I'm going to hold them accountable because I hold myself accountable. Imagine if I, not in an illustrious field, so let's go back to building a house. Imagine if I decide to not build this house today. Who does that affect? That really don't affect that woman that got this degree in a certain type of marketing, because there's going to be other houses, because there's houses that's already built she can market. But if I decide to not build that, it don't affect her as much. She just has to move on from this client and find a new one. And guess what? Guess what's out there? There's 100 more clients out there that she can go. But I know if I don't build this house, other clients going to see this. I can't go to 100 more clients. I'm not in a position to do that. So I have to build this house and have to be the best way. I have to be a man. I can't fake being a man. So if we're going to use a terminology, I can't fake being. When we use that, we gotta really, really think about how we say this. We got to be honest and truthful. A man can never be effeminated and emasculated. You know why? Because he has to be a man. So me being a man, it's a house. If I don't build that house, you can say I'm not a real man. No, he just quit. Just call me a quitter. Call me the right. If we're going to deserve and start having a talk, we got to have that real talk. That man, he quit it. That don't make him less of a man or not a real man. Just at that moment, he's not living up to what he's supposed to be as a man. You got to understand that. So if that man is not living up to being a man, it affects everybody else. But mainly it affects him. That fall, that blame, that fault, he is held accountable for who? Himself. Until we individually, I hold myself. So as I stated, and you probably heard me say this, regurgitate this a million times, because that's my purpose. We always talk about our family being divided and separated. Who's the glue? It ain't the government. It ain't the Caucasian people. It ain't your paycheck from that job you work. It's not your degree. It's not your house. You are the glue. So if you keep seeing fault in a lot of things, you know what you were. This is part of your purpose. If you don't know your purpose is to be there. So when I hear men say, well, my father wasn't there, so why in the heavens on this earth, or the hell on this earth, because you're going to create a hell. Because an absent father, a child will live in hell. I don't care what nobody say. I don't have a child, but and I can easily diss a lot of women and say, ha, you got a child with a man that ain't want. But I'm not going to do that to them. Because I know in actuality, she did make that choice. But in reality, she didn't ask questions. She ignored things. We all do it. So that's that one part where I know we all do. But I know as a man, I know I wanted to see a married man. And if he wasn't married, I still want him to say, wow, I'm actually not in the streets. I'm not selling drugs to my people. Basically, overall, I'm not going to make an excuse for my life and then later on attach myself to some religion or some beliefs to make me sound and look good. They say if you look into a man's life, you're going to find things. What are you looking for? Are you looking for him living his life and learning? Or are you really just looking to condemn him or persecute him or vice versa, her? But me as a person, I'm not going to go out and say, man, that person is so evil. But this is what I did. I look at it like this, as this. I'm with a woman, or I'm married. I get married. I cheat. Whose fault is that? Mine alone. 100%. I have talked to women. I talk to men. Some may say 80-20, 90-10, 95-5. I say, no, it's 100%. Because you got to think about this. I'm not cheating, but a woman walk up to me and we talk. Boom, we talking. Then either way, we exchange phone numbers. Now I have to remember, I do construction. She does retail. I just created a network, a link. That's what a link is. I don't know about all this new stuff when we're using different words. I'm only going to call her for business. But if she called me and say, let's go out on a date, the cheating process has started. You have now you go on that date. And on that date, you're not discussing business. You're discussing, let's say you discuss your wife and you love your kids. Cool. But now you're going to her house. What y'all discussing then? You got a wife at home. Now you're neglecting your wife. Your wife had nothing to do with this in the first place. Your wife wasn't standing out there. Your wife, you didn't tell you. And people don't understand this. So when you get, I will tell my son and daughter, not tell them, guide them, or challenge them. You get with a person and you say, how was your day? What's going on? Where you at? What you doing? See, we say those three letters, W-Y-D, is stupid when a man asks. But it's also stupid that he's showing that he's cares at the same time. I would never see that double pleandra that we're doing. Create an understanding within yourself so when you express it to other people. So overall, with my sisters, do you love me? Do you respect me? Do you honor me? Do you care about me? Does anything that the brothers do for you, does that mean anything? I ask those questions because a woman, I call her part of the family and I promote her book and everything. I asked her that, but her response was, I follow you. I'm on here when nobody else is. And I said, oh, okay. But that's not why I'm asking you that question. I would love to talk to her. I would love to just sit down with my race, Black women, and say, do you realize the things you say? So instance, imagine a young man keeps saying, oh my God, he's so much better. He's so good. You're like, damn, I scored 20 points too. How come I don't get that same type of props? Man, I had a triple double. I led my team to a gold medal. I made sure my sister is good. It's not that you're looking for validation, but then they say, Black man don't do that. All the other race men, look at those dudes in that other country. What they doing? Then you put logic to the words. In 10 to 20 years, they're going to be fighting another way to remove power. Just as we are fighting a different way to remove power. Our first power is in our mind. You are your first power. That's what I'm showing my son. You are your first power. That girl that turned you down, that dude that come against you because he jealous for some reason, whatever. Jealousy, and I will challenge the people. Jealousy is not something that's a thing that you did. You chose to be jealous of a person. No, why? Because everything, most of the time, think about it. Most of the time, people are jealous over what? Material things. Why I'll be jealous of something I can go get? It won't look the same way. It won't be the same way. So I will guide my son into an understanding. You can do it too. You might have a different path. So sometimes, just as I let people know, I'm going to read that book or I might check that out. But I don't read it the same way. I look for a structure, a foundation, and that basically tells me about the whole book. And I have a collection of books now that people are like, I haven't read them all. I used to wonder why. I thought something was wrong with my mind that I didn't finish books. But I learned, you know why? Because when I started coming to social media and then in the workplace, I was listening to people. Everybody was sounding the same. Like, I read this book, I read that book. And I looked at it. And when I read that book, I said, this is why y'all talk this way. And then this was what I learned. People don't know how to comprehend. Because now I say, in your own words, just as if you ask somebody in their religion, in your own words, what did that scripture mean? In your own words, what was that? Not what they said. What do you think they said? And I learned it was so hard for people to respond. They couldn't. Maybe using not with the word. I can't think of the word. Cannot recall a word right now. Not comprehend. But the word, they could not give it in their own meaning. Because if I don't understand it in my own meaning, then I will never get it. And I know they didn't get it. So all they doing is regurgitating what they heard. So, and the reason I asked the women these questions, because I would really want to know, why is it you do this then? Start getting to the real, and it's always, especially on social media, it turned into a beef sector, a battle sector. Why? Why is it I can't say or ask a woman about, I heard from another woman, her hears, you putting that on your head because you don't love yourself. That's what she said. It's like, well, for me, I do it this way. Then I say, okay, And you know what I would say, and I don't want to battle no woman, because I heard that, not that I battle, or if I don't find it my way or I don't hear it my way, I don't listen. Because I will ask them, okay, you can't be one of the women that say, well, this brother don't want to be with a woman that wear makeup, lace fronts, and lashes, because it looks silly to him. For me, I will give it real quick and go to the next. And do we pose a set real quick? I'll go into this question. That why I feel that way, and it can sound silly. To me, it covers up who she is. No lie, I dated a woman for about 6-7 months. We was together eventually by the second or third month. So we see then it lasted less than a year. My life was only last. I didn't know who she was sometimes. No, literally. If I didn't know what color she had on that day, and I wasn't at her house or her house, and she came out the door and I wasn't with her, I didn't know who she was. No lie. People laugh at me for that. Because to me, I even tell my sisters, makeup does them no justice. If you already, to me, I always felt like makeup is for like extravagant parties and just some certain events, but not a lot. Foundation and things. I know about foundation and how that stuff works. I didn't think it was to mask who you are. And that's what it was. Like the movie The Mask. He put on a whole, and nobody knew who he was. Like Superman, Batman. When you put mask over your face, we don't and see that. But people say, how do y'all know who it is? You won't know if you don't. But I look at the woman and I was told that's lustful. I can look at the woman from the back of her and say who she is. And I wore glasses. So at some point I was like, man, I don't need my glasses. But that's another story. But she didn't understand my plight of why I don't desire all of that. Then she had used the other men's plight. Well, some men are okay. That's okay for him. And it's not okay for you. But I'm not going to stop that. My interaction with you, I'm not going to say, well, I hate you for that. I hate her because she wear blonde hair in her head. So I'm going to hate her. I'm going to treat her different. No. I'll say that's her choice. But the choice of me, her understanding, it might not come. So I have to make a decision within me and say, okay, she's going to still do that. That was going to be hard for me. And we're going to have problems. I don't want problems. And if we can't resolve them, maybe you move on. And it was other things. So that was like a small things. And people take the small things and make them the big. I don't never take nothing small and make them big. I never argue with a woman. I will have a discussion. I don't debate. I don't argue. If we can't come to some form of understanding, because I'm not trying to agree. That's not what I expect. And that goes into, do I suppose to accept the hatred of me without saying a word? This is what we're seeing now. We can talk about Red Pill, all these other movements for men. We're seeing over those 60 years now, 30 years later, again, 30 and 30, 30 for 30, like ESPN. We are now seeing what the men have experienced. Okay. Woman says she never heard this before. I felt inadequate for working a job. I got dirty. I tore my clothes. And when I go out, women made me feel wrong. Literally have the insignia of the job with the car ID, the badge on my clothes, because that's what you have to wear, because you can't go walk around people's houses and people's area and people like, who is you? Pull out their guns and stuff. You a black, big 6'5" black man digging in somebody's ground or walking in out somebody's house and they not home. How do that look? In some funky neighborhood that own, it's like, let's say like you lived in Texas, they all got shotguns. So I need that. But then made me feel inadequate that I was working a job. I was getting paid $21 an hour. That's a good fare. Either I get paid more for the work that I did. I got looked at different because of that. I got looked at different when I was growing up to even now. It's quiet where I'm at. No woman breaking down my door. It was the weekend. They rather go find dudes. And the mentality of, it's not, I know it ain't just our race, but I don't deal with nobody else. And then the ones I deal with, they don't have that mentality. They got their kids. They not. They can say they not. They can say they hiding behind closed door like that Indian woman. She got her a man, but that's regular normal life. I don't look at somebody's life and say, man, she don't love herself because she got her a man that's being honest with her and they having adult relationships. I'm not knocking nobody on no regular. I'm not religious. That's where I draw a line with religion. I'm not knocking no man or woman that's not a virgin having a straight up partner for the bedroom, going out, having fun, and not married. I am not knocking you. I will knock you if you saying you're lying. He lying. I'm gonna knock that man. Say, yo, how you lying? Tell her the truth. You told your wife you got a chick you had sex with last night. Do your wife know that? Is your wife doing? I don't know. I don't care. But if you present that to me, I'm gonna be quiet. But after a while, I don't want to hear your mess, dude. I don't want to be no husband and have another woman having sex. I'm about, oh, I want some new PUSSY. Now, to me, if I had to call that out, that's little boy stuff. That's not quote unquote real man stuff. Why? Because I'm not trying to, as a man, I'm gonna dive in that and say, what button I gotta press to make her do what that lady in the porn movie did? What I got? Oh, let me go out and get that. All right, let me read. Now I might now ask her, hey, how do I feel when I'm feeling in that spot? When I'm touching that spot, I'm caressing and rubbing. I'm gonna ask her, oh, how I get you there? She gonna tell you. You gotta ask her. You gotta talk. That's where I vary from everybody. So if a black woman saying some other race man is better, why is he better? What did he do? You didn't accept me. You made me feel less than or inadequate, and say it's a cesspool to black men. It's not a cesspool. Well, if there's a cesspool, what pool? So you think the dude that's selling drugs or that still live in the projects, his mind is about the projects. His mind is only about money and grinding. It's not about a 401k. It's not about getting this. So, but you want those things, but they would go deal with them. You know why? Overall, and that's how I get back. I go right back to myself. If I'd rather deal with a woman that treat me like trash, that'll call herself the B word, that'll dress half naked. I'm talking about B word. I ain't talking about looking at. See, and that's the thing that some women have to understand. I'm gonna look at something. That don't mean I want it. You walk by that store with all them shoes, you look at all them shoes. Do you buy those shoes? Vice versa. You're not buying those shoes. You're not buying 4 pair of $1,200. I don't care how much money me. Ain't no. I haven't. And a person that does that, I can say, well, you're not gonna be a millionaire. You would never be a millionaire. I hung out. I never seen a millionaire buy 4 pair of $1,200 shoes, and they have access to that money. They could go make another million, but I never seen them do that. I seen them. They was ready to go to an event. They get tailors and they buy 1 pair of new shoes. Other shoes, after a while, one of I knew, they would like he didn't have 60 pair of shoes. He had a good average because if you wearing an outfit with blue in it, outfit with green in it, or orange, he had an average for every color. So that's what that 14, 15, 16 color shoes, mix and match. But he had extra. When he had extra, so many, after a while, he'd take those and give those, and they still smell brand new. I got sneakers that still smell brand new. They will give them away, but we'll give it back to charity. Then he like, oh, if I want them type of shoes, go buy them again. Because there was no reason to have so. That's another story too of having abundance of things, of you hoarding that you don't need. We got people that hoard money. They're not saving it, they're hoarding it, think it's going to change. Well, if you're going to hoard money, put it somewhere where it collect. And that's how I would talk to my son. Put it somewhere. You don't got to invest. You don't got to have stock. Just do something that's more beneficial to you than that's not as beneficial to you. Do things that's more beneficial to you in a good positive way than it's not beneficial to you. What if we start telling our children that? Imagine how different our young men and women would think. Instead of saying black men ain't it. No, start looking at the men that you want. So if you meet a dude in a project and you see that his projection or potential, I heard a new word is projection. So they was comparing me into a bank when they want to give me a loan and my credit got better and I got my FICO score, my projection. So my projection have to be better now. So again, do I supposed to accept that? So now, what is our resolve? What is our resolve of now the man and the woman dynamic? What is our resolve? How can we establish a stability for Indigenous men and Indigenous women to not propagating the hatred upon each other? No man deserves hatred. So in all rights, no woman deserves hatred. But you want the man that's been hated on for some of them. I'm 38, and it's been going on for 60 years. Some of these young men are 20. So he's meeting 20-year-old young ladies telling him he ain't nothing because of his black skin, his brown chocolate skin, his mocha colored skin, his caramel skin. He's told he's nothing because of her mother or some man. And men, why? Oh, I know I gave this analogy before. Stephen Jackson had his daughters at a young age. They didn't see the because he's a basketball player, so he made millions. So it was different from Stephen Jackson. That's a skill, but again, he's going to do something at a company that's paying him. That's different from me. I have a skill set. I am building houses. If you go back and if you listen to this, I'm building houses versus a degree. Yes, our women have the highest degree rating amongst a lot of, but not over Asian women and Asian people. Everybody else, including us. But it's only over us. There's a 56%, ours 48. Of course, black men will have less degrees than black women because we're more on a skill. You don't go to college for a skill set. I don't go to college for plumbing. You get a certification and a license. You learn on the job because even what she do, she's going to learn on the job. But why would I have more degrees? So if we use education, shouldn't education now, if I want to say to my son and daughter, shouldn't her education should be beyond her college degree or his college degree? Edu means to go out. Cation, go out and look, go and seek. Edu. So and if you look at it for you, in you, EU, do you do you. I know I'm playing with the word, but you have to look at it that way. So a woman can have a degree in human molecular neo-biological exoskeletal of order or whatever you may call it, whatever it is. Did that make her a good person? That man he can make $80 billion a year. Did that make him a good person? People said being good is subjective. Well, okay, well, for you. Well, if you want somebody to treat you with respect and they're not treating you with respect, do that make that person a good person for you? Come on. We not that dumb. We not that stupid to understand that. I don't want nobody to punch me in my face. Don't be with somebody that don't punch you in your face. Don't be with somebody that'll raise their hand to your face. Don't be with somebody that will point their finger in your face. Don't be with bygone. You move that person out of here. Like, how hard is that? Man, money over BITCH, money over MYOB. I don't want her. These chicks is trash. Why would you associate yourself with that person? Why would a man? I wish more men would do this. I hate black men, but then she be with a black man. That's like Stacey Dash. No, why? You didn't want me. I'm not saying that nobody should be with her because a lot of people believe in that redemption. I don't believe in redemption. Take me as I'm happy at a young age I got that. I didn't want to go out and shoot nobody. I didn't want to go out and sell drugs. Basically, let me stay at the other level, the little mid level. I didn't want to sell drugs. Okay, I sell this. And see, people don't think about this. And I say this to young men. I walk up. Oh, you selling coke? Oh, you know how highly this addictive to people. It's their spirit. I knew man, if I sold drugs to this people, I am ruining that lady life. She have a child. She usually have a baby. The baby is young, can't really defend for themselves, or that child have to take care of the other child. I'm hurting. See, I think that way. So I can never be in a position. I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody say. I cannot call myself a good man today for me. For me. This is for me today. If I sold drugs to one person in this world, I could not call me a man for me today. I could not call myself good. I could not say I'm being a positive, a good role model and example. I'm not saying I cannot no longer forward, but I say from day one, I know for myself, I have always been a positive. But then the people are like, oh, what about you? You went to the strip club. I said, oh, so my singleness of understanding, because once you know, now that determines my good. No, that determines now that's subjective of what you call good. And the first thing I did, I asked the woman, why are you doing this? It's crazy to understand this. A lot of women is not doing this to pay the bills. A lot of women doing it because they enjoy stripping. They enjoy getting naked. They enjoy this. I'm sorry. You can say it's sad to hear that or sad to know. I thought so too at one point, but I had to live and say that's their decision. I had to live with their own decision, just as you have to live with your own decision. So I wish one day on these platforms, we had a real discussion. We sat down and had real love, be love for one another, and covered each other the way we were supposed to. I'm not supposed to accept hatred, but I'm also not going to ignore it. I'm also not going to give somebody a pass. So if you're talking to you're going to be talking to my daughter one day, or my daughter going to hear you with my son. Well, guess what? Guess what? I'm not saying you are persecuted or condemned or whatever you want to call it. And then one more thing. I did write that. I looked at it. I didn't go over that. My response to rap music. Rap music was in the 90s, correct? How long have we as a people existed? So you telling me before rap music, all that did, rap music in front of a television, a screen, showed us, all that rap music did was show us what people was thinking. Because people, I don't call women bees and hoes. I don't rap that because I don't listen to it. So how are we saying that made, no, you know why that happened that way? We got into that hoe and bee mentality era because the people, as you know, and you or other people listen to that. You listen to that rap music. I don't have no, I was listening to Will Smith. He was corny. Nah. That's corny, getting jiggy. So that's a dance song. You can shake your booty too. You can pop and twerk and all that too. But the other song was too. But he ain't talking about busting it open and getting low. You're gonna ski. I'm not saying that's bad. But if you taking that music and you saying that's the reason, or that's part of the reason, the 90s. So from 1990 to 1999, 2000, 10 years determined how we as a race, not the 400, 1,000 years ago, up to now, that was part of it. But somehow these 10 years played the biggest major role of how women, they said, I could get shorty with my ride. I like the way she work it. No diggity. You got I can get what that tell you? A little jingling. So if you think about this, there's no disrespect to women. Remember, what do you jingle and who attracted to that? Babies. So you telling me a lot of these women that was doing that, the 30 to 40% have baby minds, but the other 50%, how come? Why? I'm not worried about what the other 30, 40% men are. Don't talk about me. But I know since those women chose those 30% of men, the 30% of men in this world have sex with 80% of the women. I don't care about the number. I'm just going about what I see. I see a woman with kids. I see another one with kids, another one with kids. So 10 women with kids. I met a guy. He was a father of 13 kids. Of those 10 women, he has a child by at least one of those women, and at least one child with each one of those them women. I never had sex with not 10 of the women. So I lined up another 10 women. I didn't think about another 10 women I knew. Lined them up. Had sex. So 3 more kids. So I met another dude. He had 6 kids. So that means 6 women had his children. And then I met other women he didn't have babies with. I was like, wow. See, and I think that's funny. I met a chick. She had sex with a guy I knew. The guy found out she had sex with 3-4 of the guys that he knew. And then other guy. So each guy that she knew, she was going around. Not to condemn her, but I think about stuff this way. So I think about this in all aspects of my life. So if I go out and say I'm good, I'm selling drugs to the mother that I know have a son, that have a child. She has a family, a part of her. She have a brother and sister, and she put them on to drugs, and they put them. Guess what's going to happen eventually? That's my fault. How can I call this is me now? Because we don't have a meaning of a good. Good is treating people with the same. So I'm going to not create a definition, but if you're going to say I'm good, like that food tastes good. That food tastes good. That means mostly 90% of the people think this food is going to taste good. It's good. It didn't say it was too sweet or whatever it may be. It said it was good. It wouldn't say this was the best chicken in the world. It was good chicken. It was edible. It was good. So if I'm going to be part of society, I might want to be good. So at least when I come in to think like, man, I'm going to look him up, man. He was out there being with all them girls, this is that. But I'm trying to be somebody that young men look up to that say, I'm telling them, don't womanize women. And I was a womanizer. I'm not saying, but you know why I would need those men that did do that? They got some information that I don't have. But I would want to express that first. So now, man, you used to do that. Now look at the brother being in trouble. Years later, he touched all those women. He drug. Supposedly all this happened. So I'm saying he's with all them younger women. He groomed them. He did that. That don't have to come out about you, brothers. Just be the. I don't know how to explain it. I think it's easier to be good because I heard it's easier to do bad. No, it's not. Right now, I'm being good. I'm just sitting here. I'm not saying how much quality I am. I don't know how much quality this video is going to be to someone. I just know I'm doing good because I'm just here. I'm just doing it. And I'm speaking on a topic I feel like it's a good topic. I'm not doing anything. So for me now to go hurt somebody, I gotta stand up. For me to badmouth, I gotta think about, man, what's so bad about black women? I gotta really put energy into that. Because as well, and it's probably easier for some than others, because I wasn't born in a negative realm. My family were not negative people. About how to dress, like women, the makeup, the hair, this was never an issue. But I do know people that's not my family in my city, that is real life, that is in real time, that do worry about the light skinnedness of their color of their skin, the hair. No, I do know people, so I don't think I don't know nobody. But my family don't do that. But I still have to remember, besides my family, there's other people in the world. And I just wish one day our young children, women and men, can just see good. Say mother and father together. Not because they dated every race, because they make a certain dollar amount, or they look a certain way. They got a certain status. They got a certain, just be good. Just to be good. Being is an action word. I don't say I'm a human or I'm a resident or I'm part of society. I'm a being. I'm here. I was put here for a reason. This is my purpose. To show young men, I can get everything that they want. I'm not going to go their route because their route is the route I don't want to. And it's okay not to go everybody's route. You can get rich without investing in some digital coin. You can get rich without having a certain type of college degree. You can get rich if you're not part of some group or organization. You can create generational wealth. It's just the knowledge that you have. It's the information that you know, and you use it to your best ability. And end off with this. I remember a guy kept saying, "You're gonna be rich. You're gonna be rich. Yeah, you're gonna be money rich." I said, "Man, you're not a prophet or a psychic. I know I have visions too of my life. My richness is my family." And I can say for the first time in my life so far with the family, that's going to be a part of the family, is a part of the family. They hanging out together. They showing each other love. They calling each other. See, that was one of my purpose, to call them out. And it happened right away. Imagine you were supposed to receive something. You were supposed to receive this object, this money, whatever it may be, superficial or material or helpful to you as a being on this earth. And you cut all the paths off that you cannot receive it. Imagine that. Imagine if I'd have said, I'm not going to be the glue for this to work. Imagine if I just did what all these people are doing on these YouTubes and beefing and they're hating each other and offside. Like, imagine if I was a black man say, I'm going to hate black women, so I'm going to treat them bad. Imagine if I did that. You know what happened? And I used to say this, and it came back to me last night before I get off and end my presentation for the day. We know there is positive energy. We know how positive energy works. So I'm kind to you, you kind to me. It comes back somehow, but it's in a positive way. Like, man, I might be down doing a couple dollars for my rent and something happened. And somebody say, and I need to eat today. I say, man, I got to save this. I don't get paid for 5 more days. That happened. I'm saying we all have in our down spot. Or you had the money and you forgot about a bill or something because you on your P's and Q's. You just forgot. That's just something happened. Like, man, they took more money out than I thought. Then boom, all that positive energy has to go somewhere that you did before. Now don't come back. Now that thing say, hold on. You don't have to. You call and say, this happened. They go say, I'm gonna make this one exception for you because you know why? You stay positive and you're positive. And now we gotta understand. We got to define our positivity. Nobody defined that. You paid all your bills on time. That company. See, we always say companies are bad, they horrible, or these black businesses are horrible. And it's a black business. They say, all right, even though you only been part of us for 6 months, so that means you only paid 6 dues. And they say, hold on, so what day can you pay this on? We're not going to charge you to overdraft, the over fees. Even the bank have done this with me. What happened? And I tell them, and look at my account. You can see where they can tell the truth. Oh, that did come from student loan services. They took out the $340. Oh, okay. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to put a hold on your account. What day? And call us back or come to the bank. You do what they're supposed to. That's good positive energy just came back to you. Now let's think about negative energy. When black people talking about black people, when black people talking bad on that business, and that business done nothing wrong. That person, and I remember a lady did a live on this, and she was making sense. I was like, wow, there we go. But she owned the business. So I understand. Not saying she didn't make sense if she's a customer, because she had to remember as a customer too. And I'll listen to a person. I told them, no, don't do that. They was trying to put bad on that company, but did not give that company a chance. The company made an error. No company I've ever seen, no person I've ever seen never made an error. That's why I said I'm not condemning or persecuting somebody, but I'm saying, what is your understanding of good? Do you feel bad when you do bad? But I'm not getting into that. That's another thing. And so they was putting bad. They was putting down negative energy. You think if that person was negative, you think that company would say, "Oh no, you bad mouth." Why would that company you bad mouth give you leeway now? That's what they're supposed to do. No, they don't. You just created, not karma. You reaped what you sow. So I ask you, when you produce good energy comes back. When you produce negative energy, that negative energy goes somewhere. Was it towards your family? Because you know why? Your spirit don't know any better. You get to tell your spirit you love it or hate it. It don't know no better. That spirit will act upon and it correlate with your mind, body, and soul of how you're going to treat. I feel like trash today. Your spirit going to tell your mind, body, and soul that you are trash. Because your definition of trash is something you throw out that you don't want anymore. Your definition of trash is not something that you keep and you polish up and try to make it better. That is not your definition of trash. That's why I say now, if you go back, see, be mindful of what you read and who you listen to and what you watch. Your spirit don't know. Again, see this and how I speak to people, it goes over their head. They say I talk too long, but I'm leading you. But this is what's given to me. Trash, you cannot polish doo-doo. You cannot make it pretty. You can't make it smell better. You can cover it in gold. I don't care. It's still going to be doo-doo. Doo-doo is doo-doo. It's a part of a body excrement that is built for waste. Trash is waste. So you cannot make waste pretty. You cannot make waste a treasure. I'm not talking about somebody throw out a fan, a TV, just they didn't take the time out to see if it worked or not. I'm talking about if your spirit and your soul do not know the difference. It knows by what you tell it. So that negative energy has to go somewhere. So as long as us, Black men and women, keep feeding to 60 years of negativity, we're going to always be a negative race. We are our own demise. We are our own destruction. There has to be a resolution of our hatred. And telling one of my sisters the truth, that is not bashing or attacking her. If she's wrong for the way she treat her brother. So if she talked to a young man that she got a son, how is she talking to her son? If he has a daughter and he treat women that way, how is he treating her daughter? But her daughter is going to see because the child watches you. So everything has to apply. So please, I hope one day you get this. I'm not worried about everybody as a whole, because as a whole, we don't want to be a whole. But I know I know for me, I know my family gonna be together. I know my family gonna see love. They're gonna have love. They're gonna be love. They're gonna do love. See, a lot of us not doing it. But you can choose whatever you want, because this is your life. You live it once. You can have and do everything you want. But your purpose do not manifest out of the blue air by doing nothing. So your purpose is not to be the better version of you at all times. What are you doing? So what I say unto one, I say unto all, it's your path, it's your journey, it's your choice. Choice. It's your choice. You can choose. You can. Can nobody tell you what to do? But remember, it's your path. Choose wisely. At the end of the day, you have to live with that. I can't blame my mother. I can't blame the government. I can't blame my father. I can't blame the racists. I cannot blame the 60 years. But I'm also not going to allow what hates me to determine who I am.